Joining me tonight is Gloria Reeves. She's a long-term friend of mine, and we're going to have some exciting topics on diabetes this evening. So, Gloria, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a retired CPS school teacher. I'm also retired from being a junior college basketball coach. I spent 36 years with CPS. Thank God I got to that point. And now I do a lot of things, different things. I'm an associate of Aflac Insurance.
Okay. Well, we're co-workers together, so insurance is a big part of what we do on a day-to-day basis in serving our community. But tonight we have something special to talk about, something personal to my heart, which is diabetes. And a lot of things have taken place. Over the last 2 years, I have been recuperating from an automobile accident where the person that hit me had a diabetic seizure. So tonight we want to just talk about, and Gloria also shares personal experience with family members who have suffered from diabetes, and we're educating tonight the community on the causes, the effects, and the number of statistics that deals with diabetes. So Gloria, I'd like to just ask you to just give us a little background on your family and diabetes.
Okay, well, I have a relatively large family. Initially, my father was the first person that was diagnosed with diabetes, and then my sister, who was 2 years older than me, was diagnosed with diabetes, but she was diagnosed kind of early, like when she was 25. And she had a lot of complications throughout her life because of diabetes.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I was looking at some statistics, and it says that 29 million Americans are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and 86 million are pre-diabetes. And it has a lot of side effects, you know, with blindness being one.
Right. And my sister suffered from its retina detachment. Mm-hmm. And that's when the retina moves away from your pupil, and it causes them to have to go in there. And they do a procedure where they put a bubble inside the person's eye and everything to try to help their vision.
Well, you know what? To have firsthand experience with this is really, really something. I had an auntie who experienced, she was very fortunate to have a doctor that dealt with diabetes who believed in his patients, and he wanted all of his patients to be sure when they came to him that they would be able to fight for their life. And she went in, and she was, you know, really obese, but she ended up losing about 125 pounds, and she was she was not a diabetic anymore. And then things started happening in her life, and she ended back up as you know, with diabetes, mm-hmm. and I guess it just overtook her life, and she ended up with in a coma.
Right. Well, my sister she had a stroke, and my sister had triple bypass. So there are a lot of complications that come with it. And in fact, I come from a family of 12, and I had 6 of my older siblings all had diabetes. Of course, most of them are deceased, or all of them are deceased at this point. Mm-hmm. So it does have an effect. It also creates mood swings and those kinds of things. So, you know, it's quite a devastating disease. I don't think that a lot of people are aware of that.
Mm-hmm. As a coach in the public schools and being able to train so many of our youth and keep them motivated, how are some of the ways, what were some of the things that you did and said to inspire them?
Well, you know, my thing about anything is do your best. I don't care if it may not be to the level that you can do it, but it's to the level that I can do it. Mm-hmm. You know, my best may be better than your best, but as long as I'm doing my best, I'm successful. So that was my thing to players and students that I had. You know, everybody's not the same. So you do whatever it is that you can do to the best of your ability.
Did you find that children were interested in hearing about their health issues, and, you know, especially being a coach and, you know, them working out, and you know, you firsthand with your eyes to be able to see them struggling. Mm-hmm. So what were some of the encouraging things you were able to tell them?
Well, with athletics, you know, children or young people have to be able to understand that it comes with a responsibility. You are what you eat. And if you're not feeding your body the proper things, no matter how much exercise or workout that you have, you're not going to reach your maximum goal.
So with the President of the United States and Michelle Obama, who really rolled up her sleeves in the initiative to get some things, some education down to the communities for the children all over the United States. I thought that was very noble for her to be able to do that.
Well, it was important because she had that limelight and she used it to the best of her ability. Because most kids, they want to eat all the junk stuff. They want to eat candy, you know, French fries, and all of those are carbohydrates. And carbohydrates is what creates the diabetic problem because carbohydrates turn into sugar. So it complicates things.
Well, in my statistics, and you saw me writing them and putting them down and trying to pull them together, is that I found out that amputation of different limbs of your body, especially the lower part, it says the age is from 20 and older. They said something like 73,000 people have had became amputees from diabetes.
Right. Well, you know, a lot of people are in denial. When they are diagnosed with diabetes, they don't accept the challenge of what has to be done in order to survive and not to be an amputee. So it's a situation where people, you know, and especially bad with young kids because young kids have a hard time with that. You can't have chocolate, you can't have this, you can't have that. So it's definitely a painful adjustment the younger you are.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the things that has been really exciting to me is to know that I'm working, we work for an insurance company together, and we see the issues that come in front of us in regards to rate hikes in the insurance area for people who have diabetes, you know, type 1, type 2, and just trying to sit there and educate our individual clients on this is the reason why the rates are extremely high. And looking into the faces of those individuals that we know that the premiums are high, but they're doing the best that they can to adjust to everything that's gone on in their life.
But the good thing is because of Obamacare, that is not an issue as much as it used to be because now you can get insurance with pre-existing conditions. And I don't think that with our company, we don't raise the rates because they have diabetes. They just have to have a period of time that they're insured by us that they're not having to be treated for that particular illness.
Well, you know, we got a new president in the White House.
Yes,
so
we do.
Right now we got some initiatives that's trying to go forth to be able to do something, but the outcome has been in the area of insurance for us, as we see it, is that we're praying and hoping that the best decision is made for the United States of America, for the people that are going through, the people who don't have any health issues at this point. But education is the most important thing that we can push out here and make sure that we educate our clients as well as they learn as much as they possibly can and get with their primary care physicians and just really get involved in their health.
Yeah, it's possible to live a long, healthy life, even with diabetes. I mean, my father lived till he was 89 years old. He never had anything amputated. He did have to have a triple bypass, but he had that at 65, and he still lived till he was 89. Mm-hmm. So he was able to control his intake of bad things, and everybody's not that well versed in doing what they're supposed to do for themselves. But in fact, my sister wasn't. My sister was the kind of person that if I want it, that's what I'm having. I don't care. You know, so it's different personalities, and as we know, different people succeed in different ways.
Well, I was involved in an accident a couple of years ago where I was parked and my phone fell, and I reached down to grab my phone and lights went out. I was hit head on by a van of a guy that was driving, and he was a diabetic, and from my understanding that he had not had his medication in 3 or 4 days, and it caused him to go into what was called a diabetic seizure. He hit 3 cars before he hit me head on. But had there been another car behind me, I would have been in trouble because he knocked me completely out of the parking spot. And this is what I want to say to anybody who's out there, that have diabetes. I know there's really, really rough times and you get depressed and you don't want to take your medicine, or you forget to take your medicine, and you want to have a good time. But remember, there's other people out there other than you. It took me almost 2 years to be able to walk the way that I'm walking right now. I suffer all day long, in pain and out of pain, just trying to get on with my day-to-day life. I went to the man's house. My heart was hurting. I just wanted to know that he was okay. And then I just, with everything that happened to me, I was upset that he could actually come out into the public after, not having this medication for 4 days, and just recklessly with his life almost take my life. So for those individuals out there, I pray daily that you take your life seriously. But remember, other people's lives are involved as well. So when you walk out of your home and you know that your medication, in terms of taking your medication on time or as prescribed, 3 and 4 days is suicide mission. So I'm very grateful to God that I'm still here, but getting up, I sit down for 30 minutes, I have a very difficult time standing straight up. So it's just my prayer that we will continue to educate ourselves, and I'm glad that you're here. We work side by side. Right. So it's a pleasure to have you here. And I was looking through, calling the internet and trying to figure out, tell me how many people have been in automobile accidents that didn't make it. Right. And so the statistics are growing, but it equal to somebody being on alcohol, Right. So if you don't take your medication, then you're going to take somebody's life. So I just encourage everybody to do the best that you can, but remember, there's other people out here driving as well. Right.
Well, the thing about, and we talked about this earlier, was low sugar. Low sugar is more dangerous than high sugar. Mm-hmm. So if your sugar gets low, you pass out, you go into a coma. And they have to have sugar in order to keep them from being in a coma. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a very crazy kind of disease, because it works in different ways. I mean, I had a sister that also had diabetes, and I was going to give her a kidney. Well, I'm on the borderline of being a diabetic, but I've conducted a lifelong thing for me to survive without getting it, because I've changed my diet. I've done a lot of things because I just don't want it, because it causes so many other difficult situations. Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought that I saw another thing that I read about people being obese, and then we also talked about somebody that it had nothing to do with their weight.
Right. Well, to just give you an example, the sister that I'm talking about, when we were younger, she was very thin. Extremely thin, and I was kind of chunky. As we got older, she picked up a lot of weight and I got thinner. Mm-hmm. And as it came out later, it was due to the fact that she had diabetes. Mm-hmm. And back then, people really didn't know much about diabetes at all, because that would have been in 1975, somewhere along there.
Well, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm just the victim of being in a car, and sometimes you say in the wrong place at the wrong time or whatever. But what has happened to me is it has made me become more and more aware of how important it is to take very good care of yourself. And to the family members and friends and fiancés who have family members who are suffering from diabetes, they become very depressed. So I think it's our position to encourage them to be the best that they could be to themselves, as well as us not, just kind of drive this home, beat them down with it, but try to motivate them and keep them in a spirit where they can realize that their life is important as well as the next person.
Right. And they have mood swings too. They can go from 0 to 100 in no time. If their sugar is high, they sometimes will act, volatile. So it's a lot of things that play into it. My sister even had a stroke. When she was 48, she had a stroke. It paralyzed her on the right side. She lived till she was 58, but she had to have a triple bypass. It was so many things that she had to have. She never lost any limbs, but there were so many other issues in her life.
Well, they said that juvenile onset of diabetes by 2020, it's about 200%, but they said it's going to double. in juvenile, you know.
Right.
So I'm just praying that we just kind of get involved because, you know, we go to the store, we're in a hurry, we don't plan our meals, and we just grabbing things, and you could walk through the store like I used to be when I was a kid. I was throwing stuff in my mom's cart, and the kids are doing the same thing, but we really need to get this education out here to the parents so that when the children are going to the store with them, that they can educate them and let them know that this will kill you. This will really, really destroy your life. So I'm excited about just getting the information out and sharing information, and I'm just glad that you were able to come on and share your part of it and being a family member with them, with family members.
But the other thing that I want to mention is that people don't understand that a lot of things are caused by the diet, but the diet is caused by people's ability to pay for stuff. Most things that are healthy for you are more expensive. So when you carbohydrates, potatoes, you know, rice, those are fillers. And when people have a lot of children and that, they need those kind of staples so that they can satisfy their family.
We were talking about earlier some signs and symptoms that the public, that we can share with the public about what are some of the signs that, you know, they may be having, that they can go and share with their primary care professionals, providers, as I'm getting tongue here. But anyway, but some of them were urinary infections and constant urination.
Right. They usually have to go to the washroom often. They're usually thirsty. They're a lot of times they're fatigued. They're tired. You know, and there are those things that you can look for when if you're going to the bathroom a lot. You need to take a look at that and maybe mention that to your doctor the next time you go see them.
I thought those were some of the common things that women go through and men go through anyway.
Yeah, when you get older.
So we wouldn't hardly be able to kind of tell between some of the differences, but it's best to have it checked out.
Right. And then, you know, some women have gestational diabetes, and that means that while they're pregnant, they actually have diabetes, but when after they deliver their baby, they don't have it anymore. So there are a lot of things that go on that in our bodies, and everybody's different, but there are things that you should look for.
Yeah. But we were also reading that there were other members of the population like Latin Americans as well as Asian Americans. And I was really kind of thinking about them because their diet is a lot of plant-based diet.
Yeah, but they eat a lot of rice, carbohydrates, potatoes, you know. Yeah. So it's still, you know, it's still ingrained in their diets also.
As well as Hispanics.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, we don't stand out here alone, although we hear a lot that says about, because I have family members that are Hispanics that, you know, that's in my family as well, and I look at their food and you know, food is really spicy, but it's, you know, it's delicious food. So I'm just grateful that we're able to have this show today and just talk about a lot of issues that have, you know, kind of like plagued our community. So it just goes to show us that we got an ongoing education and having a good time doing it, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, got to get the word out.
So, Coach, are you planning on doing any coaching this summer? Do you do any like volunteering? And
well, I haven't really thought about that. But, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, if you're out of the circle, you're out of the circle, and I've been out of the circle for a while, even though a lot of people tell me, oh, they'll give you a job. It's not that time yet, now for me.
Well, once again, this is the Omnibus Roundtable TV show, and we air on Wednesday at 9 p.m., Thursday at 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m., and we're on Channel 19. Our phone number is 773-609-4867. And once again, joining me is Gloria Reeves, and my name is Margot Richmond. Oh, okay. So now, let us talk about, we can talk a little bit about the insurance business.
Okay.
Okay. So we can kind of round this table a little bit, and we can talk about what's really important in the insurance industry, and we talk about new coverages that we have, And we have some things where that's brought to us now from Aflac we're Aflac reps.
Right.
And we just come tonight just to talk about some of the benefits and some of the things that Aflac offers the community. Like when I was off, I'm an insurance agent, you're an insurance agent. You know, we talked about this thing, and I didn't have Aflac. And when Workman's Comp decided that they wasn't going to pay because whatever their reasons was, they didn't believe, and whatever the case may be, if I had been out too long, had I had a supplement like Aflac, I would have had some income coming in, and I didn't do that. So, you know, I go around, like we know, I shared in our meeting, we had about 25, 30 reps there, and I'm saying, you know, we got to cover ourselves as well, you know?
Yeah, sometimes we're so busy trying to help other people, we forget about ourselves.
Yeah.
You know? And Aflac is a good supplemental or voluntary insurance that helps the benefits of any benefits you already have. It just complements them.
Yeah, because like going to that emergency room and making all of these trips, because I had like almost 52 different times that I had to go to physical therapy. So just imagine. But every other day, I'm watching television, and there's that little duck quacking all over the place. And I was so angry because I knew, you know, I should have had some kind of coverage. I mean, you know, even agents don't do all of the right things for the right reasons as well. We go through hardships with finances as well. So we're, you know, so we just got to be more conscious of budgeting our money and preparing ourselves. So sometimes it angers me to hear people talk about low cost insurance. But that low cost insurance, if you ever get something terminal or something becomes very, very critical and you're not able to work, you're in trouble.
Right. Yes, because the cheap insurance, it looks good when you're buying it because it costs you less money, but does it cover the needs that you have?
Yeah. And if you're off of work and you got a medical bill that's $300,000 and your coverage is $25,000 or $50,000, you're in big trouble.
Oh, yes.
Because the medical bills have to be paid, the attorney has to be paid, everybody have to be paid. And at the end of the day, when they send you a check for $3,500 and you say, oh my God, my back is destroyed for the rest of my life, or my ankles are destroyed for the rest of my life, or even a brain injury. Cheap insurance, think about it. If you just have to purchase it just to get by, to buy you some time to get the best insurance, if you got children, please get excited about making additional money. Get excited about it so that you can get happy about making more money so that you can cover yourself and your family better.
Right. And that's the thing about Aflac, it pays you. It doesn't pay the doctor bills. The doctor bills are going to be there, but if it pays you directly, it helps you maintain your household, pay your car note, buy groceries. It does those things that you need when you're not able to make money.
Or your funds run out in your bank account and you think you got a little nest egg over there about 2 or 3 months when you're supposed to have, 6 to 12 months worth of your income, whatever it is. It's supposed to cover all of your bills for at least 6 to 12 months is what I'm told.
Right.
But when that money's gone, there's nothing there, you're in big trouble. So you're headed toward
bankruptcy. Because, you know, a lot of people don't realize that most of the people, about 85% of the people that go into bankruptcy have medical bill problems, you know, and it's just one of those things that you can't get around it. I mean, if you're ill, you're hurt, you're something, you have to go to the hospital, so you're going to get bills. Yeah.
It's real important. It's real important. So this has been we have been around the corner, up and down the walkway, and we've covered some issues. And I'm just, once again, I keep just saying how grateful I am. I know I kind of threw you in here. You're like, I just came to visit, and I'm on the stage. But we just want to thank the show, the producers here, and once again, we want to talk about Omnibus Roundtable TV show, which airs Wednesday at 9 p.m., Thursday at 4:30 p.m., as well as letting them know that we're on Channel 19, you know, and our phone number is 773-609-4867. And once again, joining me, I'm Margot Richmond, and this is Gloria Reeves.
Yes.
My friend.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gloria, you and your family members, you know, just keep rolling out the information.
Oh,
you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Alrighty, so next time we come on the show, we'll be talking about what we want to talk about next: dating, being single, and some of those topics that we really, really need to cover that makes people happy, as well as some of the serious issues that we got going on in our world today.
Yes.
Yeah, so once again, that's it.
Drinking apple cider vinegar before bedtime will change your life for good. We can assume that you have used apple cider vinegar in a number of recipes, from pickles, pie to salad dressings, but have you ever thought about drinking it? Maybe you will not believe it, but drinking apple cider vinegar before bedtime can significantly improve your health and life in general. Look these 10 benefits and find out more how apple cider vinegar can help you. 1. Weight loss. According to many studies, obesity is closely related to a lack of sleep. The more weight a person has, the more sleep problems will have. Apple cider vinegar has the ability to prevent the accumulation of fat and reduce the appetite. It contains a compound known as pectin, which makes your brain feel more satisfied. So, if you are feeling hungry before bedtime, apple cider vinegar is your solution. Instead of reaching for a chocolate bar or cookies which contain a lot of fat, just mix 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar with a cup of water and drink it. 2. Treats a sore throat. The bacteria responsible for a sore throat can thrive in the acidic environment created by apple cider vinegar. Moreover, apple cider vinegar has powerful antibacterial properties. Take 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar and swallow it an hour before going to bed. Swallow another teaspoon 30 minutes later, then another one just before going to bed. 3. Hiccups will be gone. Apple cider vinegar can stimulate the nerves in the throat responsible for the hiccups. Due to its bitter taste, this will make the nerves to forget the need to hiccup. Take 1 teaspoon of organic apple cider vinegar and swallow it. 4. Relieves stuffy nose. Apple cider vinegar has rich content of magnesium, potassium, and vitamins B1, B2, A, and E, which can thin mucus and clear the sinuses. In order to get a quick relief, you should mix 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar with a glass of water and drink before going to bed. 5. Treatment of acid reflux. Apple cider vinegar has the ability to restore the acidity of your stomach. Just mix 1 tablespoon of it with a glass of water, and drink it 1 hour before going to bed. 6. Bad breath. The bacteria in the mouth can be the reason for your bad breath in the mouth. As we said before, apple cider vinegar can kill the bacteria, thus keeping your mouth fresh. You should take 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar before bedtime. 7. Reduces stomachache. Apple cider vinegar can help you to forget those sleepless nights caused by your upset stomach. You will no longer have the problems with cramps and gas. Mix 1 teaspoon of organic apple cider vinegar with a cup of warm water, and drink it before going to bed. 8. Prevents indigestion. Insomnia is closely related to indigestion. Apple cider vinegar has the ability to help you in the case of bloating and nausea. Mix 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar and honey in a glass of warm water and drink it half an hour before going to bed. 9. Reduces nocturnal leg cramps. The lack of potassium is considered as the main cause of sharp pain in the legs. Fortunately, apple cider vinegar has rich content of potassium, which can reduce the cramping and restore the balance of your body. Mix 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with a glass of warm water and drink it before going to bed. 10. Lowers blood sugar levels. High level of blood sugar is the second most common cause of insomnia. Apple cider vinegar can increase the insulin sensitivity, thus reducing the blood sugar. You should regularly take 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar before going to bed. Note: if you use medications for diabetes, you need to consult your doctor before using apple cider vinegar.